This the War Report, coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here, no safe space. Now listen in, time to hear from some of the greats.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the War Report After Dark. The OTC, the original tribal chief, the GOAT, Roman Reigns is back. Oh, we got a lot to talk about. I get chills just thinking about it. This might be one of the better SummerSlams we have seen in a very long time, and we're going to break it all down for you tonight on the War Report After Dark. How we doing, fellas?
Good. It was a great weekend.
I have to say, probably one of the better Raws after SummerSlams as well.
Yeah, well, we'll get into Raw too, but
it's all part of it.
But SummerSlam might actually be the best SummerSlam I've seen, quite honestly. It just hit on every cylinder. Every match delivered. Every match had something. I also got 6 out of 7 right. And I'm not... Yeah, I did. And I'm not mad at how predictable it was, because in the back of your head there was still, well, it could go either way. But the matches delivered and it all made sense. I'm very happy with it, and we got the return we were waiting for. I guess we should kind of break it down in order. And the opening match, well, talk about having a lot of layers. We had Liv and Rhea. Dirty Dom was not in a cage, unfortunately, but he was ringside, and quite honestly, with the way it went down, he couldn't be in a cage, because he was very instrumental in Liv retaining and turning on Rhea and going with Liv. So Dirty Dom, if you didn't think could get any more heat, just wait, because the heat is going to be even worse. And Rhea is now your biggest baby face in the women's division.
I was this close, Steve, to just chopping this off, just leaving the mustache in honor of Dirty Dom.
I think you should do it and grow out a mullet, and I think it would be the greatest thing ever.
Halloween's close.
I'll buy the mullet.
Let's do it.
I'll buy the mullet. I think that would be great.
Right on the show for you.
Dirty Dom is absolutely phenomenal. Everything he's done in this storyline has been dead on balls accurate.
That's an industry term.
You like that? I mean, think about it. His promo work, his facial expressions. You really didn't, like, after what we saw, we all kind of said, well, now we know it's happening. But if you don't look at it the way we do, people are like, all right, bet he's staying with Rhea. Not only did that not happen,
Saved Liv the next night too.
it was so great.
Monday.
It was so great. Tara says hello. Hey, Tara, welcome to the show. But yeah, I can't say enough. And it was a good match too. Like it was a great match, start to finish. And I loved everything about the finish. Do you guys have anything else you want to add when it comes to Rhea and Liv?
Oh man, we've only just begun.
Yeah.
It's more just about Dom for me. I think I've said it for the past 5 months. My favorite heel in wrestling, including MJF, including the Tribal Chief, has been Dom for the past 6 to 5 months.
100%.
I think the kid, for the time he's been, for the pressure to be the son of a Hall of Famer, and for the naked wrestling eye, he doesn't fit the wrestling bill per se. If we look at him as like that's not a wrestler. That's not a top tier wrestler. And for him to shut us all up, and I have to credit the writers because they either knew how good this kid acted, or they knew something we didn't know to entrust him with this position with arguably one of the hottest group outside of the Bloodline in the past year or so or more in Judgment Day, and entrust him with that bill and grow from that story and put him in a pivotal point of a championship match and do what they did with him and still have layers upon layers upon layers, which me and Steve has used this word so much texting each other this week. Layers. It's just amazing. It's mind blowing. It's like, for me, we just got another Bloodline story. One that could go on for another year and a half, easily to WrestleMania. Easily. Like, there's so many matches you could evolve out of this that make too much sense right now. And it's just, again, it's just who gets the benefit of this? Us, the fan. And I love it.
Dave Abbey over at YouTube, they knew that he's actually Eddie's son.
You're right. That is Eddie's son.
Well,
at least Eddie's adapted son.
He's carving out his own legacy, you know?
Right. Away from Ray, which you can appreciate. I mean, he's really doing a great job. And you know what? Credit to Liv, too. This has been some of the best promo work and acting Liv has ever done, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So I just...
She's
improved tremendously.
Which is the reason I mentioned before, which is why I went with Liv, because I said she does need the title. And in the way she does, she needs that prestige. Like she needs those high-quality matches. She'll get lost without that title. And now you put Dom in her, so pretty much you literally just strapped a rocket to her fucking ass and shot her to the moon. That's exactly what you just did with her. Because believe it or not, we loved Mommy more because Dominic Mysterio was standing next to her because we hated him that much more. So it's like you could see the separation there right away. And in a way, this is the polar opposite, right? Because now you have two individuals together that we truly hate. It reminds me of Shawn Michaels and Miss Sherry back in the day.
Yeah.
When, like, they were both great at their job, but you hated them together because they were so loud and obnoxious together. And you have that perfect combination with Dominic and Liv at this point. And then you just did the favor for Mommy, which she finally became the face she needed to become a long time ago that we've been asking for. So we got best of both worlds. It's awesome.
Yeah, I just absolutely love the direction it's headed. And we'll see where it continues. But moving... Yeah.
I was going to say, it's interesting that now Judgment Day has no original members in it.
No.
That's right.
They're all gone.
It's pretty cool. And yet it's...
Still... Well, no. That's not true. Finn Balor.
No.
It wasn't original, though.
It wasn't
Dominic,
original.
it was...
Wasn't it the original Finn, Damian, Edge, and Rhea?
Edge. Rhea.
There was no Finn.
That's it.
Yeah. Edge, Rhea, and
right.
what's his face? Priest.
Finn and
right afterwards, and then that's
Edge
when they
out.
kicked Edge out. That's right. Wow. You're right. No original members.
No original members.
But you know what? It's a way to keep the Judgment Day going without being the Judgment Day, which is great.
I honestly thought, before the rest of the night and the following night happened, I thought, oh, it was just gonna like splinter apart, but no, it's not dying.
It's taking a whole new life now.
And for me, it's very important what it's doing for Finn Balor because I believe he will end up being the leader of this new Judgment Day.
Oh
There
yeah,
is
And
no leader.
I feel like is an injustice what they've done with him. The fact that they had him labeled as the first Universal Champion ever, and because of an injury that had to be taken away from him, and his career has been downhill ever since. You know, it
yeah,
caught a little bit of wave with the Judgment Day, but he's still a backup singer so far. I
yeah.
think now coming to the forefront, he's going to be awesome. We're going to see a new Finn Balor, and hopefully we get to see a little bit more of the Demon, man, because I love the Demon. I hate the fact that they had him lose already, but I love the Demon.
I think the Demon might actually come out when he officially faces Damian Priest.
Cage match.
I think he doesn't come out
Could
till
be.
WrestleMania when he faces Damian Priest.
You
I
think
think
this is
they're.
going to drag till Mania?
I think this might drag till Mania. I see
It's
them
possible.
eliminating. I could see them eliminating each other at the fucking
Rumble.
Royal Rumble and beefing with each other after that, costing each other matches and having like a Hell in a Cell or something like that kind of match. And if you do Hell in a Cell with the Demon and Priest in there, you got yourself a show.
Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn.
The 6 minute match.
Well, I'll tell you, the match ended the way I expected it to.
Absolutely.
I didn't expect it to be as quick, but I'm not mad at it because that elevates Braun big time, and I think it's well deserved. First Steiner to ever have a singles title in the WWE, by the way.
Well, that's cool.
And as much as it sucks to see Sammy lose that quickly,
But does it?
we all know that there's a very strong possibility that our honorary Uce will be returning to the Roman bloodline, and we'll get more into that. But
Yes, sir.
it does leave it open for him to do that. He's going to get a rematch next week. He's going to lose. Of course, he's going to lose. And but overall, the match was a great match. Tara agrees it was a hell of a match. It was a great match, but it was short. But I don't think that made Sammy look bad for some reason. You know what I mean?
Because
I
Braun
don't-
Breaker's on the outside.
Breaker's just an animal.
I don't think it makes him look bad because it did what it had to, right? Sami Zayn has been an underdog his whole, you could say pretty much his whole reign as Intercontinental Champion. He had to overcome all odds, but he came into a rock, which is what this kid's supposed to be now. What I do believe is, I had made a prediction before that I thought that Orton was going to take the belt away from Cody. I know I'm jumping steps here, but I'm coming back. That Orton was going to take the belt from Cody. That way, Orton could face Cena for the belt for the 17th championship in WrestleMania. I'm gonna take a step back on that because I believe that Cody will hold that belt because I feel for some way or another they're gonna make a team out of Cody and Orton, keep the WWE Championship out of the way, keep them feuding with the Bloodline a little bit. I think that's the realm they're going. However, Orton will turn on them, and that's the WrestleMania match. You're gonna have Orton and Cody for that belt. So I'm coming with this kid Braun Breaker is. I believe he holds the belt and dominates all the way to WrestleMania.
That I agree.
And John Cena will come out and challenge him for the only belt he hasn't held in WWE history. And
Interesting.
that's where he becomes the Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania. And then later on down the road, you may be able to set John Cena's last match with Randy Orton as champion beating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And then you have that feud moving on from there, building of SummerSlam, I believe. So I'm going to backtrack on what I said before because Cody Rhodes is a little too hot right now as much as I don't like Cody Rhodes. But he does cut some fucking awesome promos and the fucker delivers in the ring.
He
And
does.
What do
You
you
don't
want to
need
talk
it-
about?
I mean, look, I might sound like a Cody crybaby right now, but It's just a fact. Like he's a cash cow right now, and you don't want to move him. And with things um, moving the way that Raw is insisting on having what's his name, Roman Reigns, when Netflix takes over in 2025, it leads me to believe that Roman Reigns will be your future heavyweight champion. However, Cody Rhodes will hold this belt and stay on SmackDown.
It's very possible. T. Roach, what's going on? Thanks for checking into the show. T. Roach.
Samad's in the building.
Tomas.
So, I think we should keep it moving. Logan Paul, LA Knight.
Electrifying.
I mean, listen, I say it over and over again. Logan Paul, absolute fucking star. How quickly he's picked up the wrestling business, I'm a big fan. He delivers every fucking time he's in the ring. He delivers every time he's on the microphone. I'm also hearing he was actually originally scheduled to keep the title, and they were going to keep the LA Knight feud going. And the reason they had him drop it is because he made comments about the Olympic boxer, which he then...
Oh, he definitely did that.
And
Correct.
WWE didn't want the heat, so they took the belt. Thank you, T. Roach. We appreciate you.
There's so many places you could go in this match. I mean, like the way, like one thing I didn't think he did great was taking simple bumps back in the day. Like I don't know. I think he force fed him a little bit because he's great at taking huge bumps, but he force fed him. I think
Logan
he does.
Paul?
Yeah, like
Okay.
and I mean the little bumps when I mean just your like like your like it's not called a hot tag when you don't have a tag team, but when when the good guy gets it going. Like
Yeah.
I felt he did that a little premature based on all his other like elements of his wrestling thing. I think he does an excellent job now at doing that. I feel like he walks a match a little better than he used to. He works the crowd a little more. He doesn't lean on his athleticism so much more. So there's so much I can speak about that. But just the marble of that fucking moonsault from the
Yeah.
top rope, the way he made that look so effortless.
Yeah.
And the way he landed was fucking great.
Spot on.
Spot on. Like,
The kid's a star.
he's fucking awesome, man.
And his promos are so smooth. There's no hesitation. There's no questioning himself. Like, he goes out and he delivers. And, we always say that's as important as your in-ring. And he's hitting it on all cylinders. But I am very glad that LA Knight finally got over and finally got a title.
Yeah.
You see he's suing LA Knight? I don't know if it's all part of the promo. But...
It's part of the story. But yeah, there is a police report circulating that Logan Paul is suing LA Knight for the damage to his Prime truck.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm sure
which is
Vince,
great.
I'm sure Vince already cut him. Well, not Vince. TKO cut him a check for that already.
I'm sure. But how funny. Like, Logan Paul suing him. Like, that's great. He's going to show up with a lawyer, probably. It's going to be great. My only issue with Logan Paul is that he's still not around enough. Like, he's gone on record to say he's going to be all in WWE full-time, and he's not going to do the other shit anymore. But he's still not there. What are we getting Logan? Once a month? Maybe?
Not even.
I mean, even defending the title, he only defended, what, twice in 130 something days?
He was around
three
wrestling
times.
Roman.
3 times with the one he lost.
Well, yeah, with the one he lost, it's 3. Because it was 2 going into the match.
I mean, look, I just think he makes way too much money outside of wrestling to let go of all those endeavors. He could tell us he's going to be 100% in, but 100% might be 2 times a month. But I don't see him letting go of all that extra money. Like, his podcast brings in a lot of views, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think he ever talked about stopping the podcast because he promotes WWE shit on that also. So WWE's getting shit on there too because all the wrestlers are going on there and doing interviews.
Yeah, Undertaker was the last
this
one.
is how he's so good that he's transcended championships. If you know what I mean, like he's not to compare him to someone like the Undertaker, but he's an attraction. in and of himself.
That is true.
Where you're going to get the Logan Paul match at the big pay-per-views. So an attraction. That's why he doesn't need the championship.
He's a draw either way.
Yeah,
Right.
that's where you use him, and you gain a lot by the specialty matches that he participates in. Like I suggested, him versus Bad Bunny. I think that would do great numbers.
That would do great.
That would do big numbers. That would be huge numbers. So, next up, we had Bayley versus Nia Jax, or shall I say Queen Nia Jax. And the Queen has finally become the women's champion.
She's the tribal queen.
It's Tiffy time!
Sorry.
And because of Miss Tiffy time, Nia is your women's champion.
Right.
So, I love it. I think it was great. And listen, Nia has turned me around completely. She is so much better than she used to be. This is the best run she's ever had.
This is the dominance she always needed.
Yeah. And notice the tribute to Yoko in the finish of that match.
Yep.
When she did the second one, and then she crossed her arms just like Yoko used to do. I thought it was great. The match itself was good. But I am happy to see Nia as the women's champion.
And her and Tiffy, that has so many legs that you could do so many things with this.
Oh yeah.
And I knew, and I was right. That's why I changed my theory about like the cashing in, especially once I saw the new briefcase. I'm like, okay, she's not cashing in now.
Well, that's what I said too. I said, there's no way she's going to cash in already, and it was a beautiful briefcase, by the way.
Somebody brought money.
Who was it that brought that up last week? That was a good point. Somebody said, was it Vince saying?
I think I said that.
Okay, yeah.
I think I said that.
Said that, yeah. There's no way. That's as a cash cow. They got to sell those.
And that's what made me change my mind. The moment that belt was brought out, I'm like, there's no way she's cashing in.
One thing was for sure, Bayley was losing because I'm gonna tell you what.
She's been boring.
It was not a
lackluster run.
It was a lackluster run, but you know what? I got to say this too, and it's not to Bayley's fault. It's the writing. They didn't do anything compelling with her. I'm actually hearing rumors we might get Hugger Bayley back, and she might come back as the original Bayley, which
you know what it is.
I don't know that I'm okay with that, to be honest, because
if it's a one-off for an entrance,
but I'm hearing it's not though. I'm hearing she's bringing back the gimmick, and it's I like this version of Bayley better. And it's a shame that this run didn't really feel like it meant anything because it was that lackluster. But that's not on Bayley. Bayley is one of the best women wrestlers in the company.
I have a question though. Do you think? I agree. I think her character now is awesome. But did you like it as a face? I didn't like her as a face. Like I think her character as a face, she didn't transition well. Her promos weren't that good. Her promos as a heel were great. I wasn't feeling them.
Listen. First of all, it's always easier to cut a promo as a heel than it is a face, because all you got to do is just talk shit. You know what I mean? But
it's an art form.
To answer your question, I don't not like Bayley as a face. But I did like her heel run better. Just like the little things, like when she would yell at Michael Cole. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But
she was more natural.
She was more natural. But I do like Bayley as a face, too. I mean, we had Bayley as a face for the first, 6-7 years of her career? Before she transitioned to the heel Bayley when she turned on Sasha. I don't know. All I know is that this was a very disappointing run, but I don't blame Bayley. I mean, I guess that's my big thing. I don't put that on Bayley.
Well,
I put that on the
9 times out of
shit.
10, you can't blame the wrestler.
Right, listen, every story's not going to be a home run. It just we're on a streak right now where most of them are hitting, but it's easier to point out one that's not when all the others are. If that
I
makes
think
sense.
it might be a good idea to kind of like evolve her character a little more and tweak it so it's a little different than what she had been the last few years.
Like
Yeah.
my problem is her face turn reminded me of when what's his face, Chad Gable got fucked up the night before by the Wyatt Sick, and then the next week he was just fine in a suit walking out on stage like nothing happened. Like from the baddest heel hating everybody to touching face and hugging babies. Like transition for me. Like don't give me that. Like there's other heels that transition to baby faces, but they keep their aura of I'm still a badass. And I feel Bailey lost that when she turned into a face, and you felt it in the crowd. Like the crowd, she was losing the crowd on her promos. It was like people were talking under her, like nobody was really paying attention.
People
Like
were
that's what I just
going to
felt.
the bathroom.
Yeah,
It was the
pretty much.
bathroom
They
break.
were
Yeah.
taking bathroom breaks,
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't know. It just felt very underwhelming. They either need a. I'd rather hug Bailey than this Bailey face thing she's got going on now, because this ain't doing nothing for nobody. At least she refreshes herself, gets the kids back on her side. I
Yeah.
don't know, something.
Uh, moving on. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, special guest referee. I want to start off by saying this. Seth Rollins made that match for me. He was so fucking funny. Especially the first 10 minutes of the match when, he was just letting things go and, laughing and it brought a sense of comic relief to a very much heated match. It was a nice balance for me. I thought the match was great. I don't know that I like that CM Punk lost because he was so fixated on the fucking
He
bracelet.
screwed himself, basically.
Right, but the whole bracelet thing, listen, I know it's sentimental and this and that, but really, we're gonna lose the match over a fucking bracelet. That was my only issue with it.
Not realistic at all.
Roman Reigns lost his unbeaten streak because he couldn't keep a chair from the guy that betrayed him 5 years earlier. Just keep that in mind.
It's a bracelet, dude.
But it's his kid and his wife. He don't have kids. Like that's his girl, and he
Not
disrespected
the
her.
dog.
You know what I'm saying? The
But-
dog, that's his kid.
But you've been waiting a year to get your hands on this guy, and you're gonna cost yourself the match over a fucking bracelet.
Is the fucking drama of a storyline.
They could have.
In the story, that bracelet meant
They
enough
should
for
have
that
had
guy
him
to lose
The
that.
bracelet should have broke.
Oh, that's horrible. No.
He was
going to
lose the match anyway.
Well, no, true.
He was gonna lose the
And
match
then,
anyways.
and then Drew stole it back again.
He did.
Steve,
Yeah.
by the way, I love the homage they did to the tribute they did to the Undertaker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michael match. In the beginning, if you notice, CM Punk dressed like Bret Hart,
SummerSlam '97.
Yep.
Yep.
and Drew came out with the same cape with no arms that Undertaker came out,
Yep.
and
I
Rollins
did
rocked
notice
the tank top referee shirt. So that
Rollins
was
even
that was a
did
cool
HBK
homage to them.
pose.
Yeah, he did
At
the
one
HBK
point.
thing in the corner where he was lounged up. That was a HBK thing. Yeah, I agree. There was a lot of things to resonate with
I
that.
love when they do stuff like that.
I do too, because not everybody's going to pick up on it, which is,
Right.
It's
so
You know what? I actually missed the pose, so I have to go back and watch the pose. I didn't realize that.
when they were on the outside, the first time they go outside, it shows a shot in the corner where they're wrestling outside, but then Rollins is lounged out in the turnbuckle.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I thought the match was great. Drew went over. Part of me was surprised, only because it's first match back for CM Punk, but either way, it was a great match. I liked the end. I liked the animosity with Rollins. I thought it was a great match. And, people are obviously last week, Dave Abbey was talking about, is anyone getting bored or tired with it? The reality is this is going to be around for a little while longer because now CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is not over. But then, we'll get more to
There's
Raw.
still drama between Punk and Seth on the back burner as well.
Right. And then something else that developed, which we'll talk about soon. And then Damian Priest, Gunther.
Hell of a match.
Think about
That's a hard-hitting match.
Think about
So much
how
chop.
hard you have to get hit in your chest to start bleeding from chops. And what was even more amazing to me, it was Gunther, not Damian, that was bleeding from the chops.
Well, Damien could have been bleeding. He just got a shirt on.
Well, true. But, I mean, it was... But what a
Gunther was
match.
gushing.
I thought the match was great. Some people, I've been hearing rumblings, were not happy with the finish. I thought it was a perfect finish.
Yeah.
To tap him out. I thought it was great. And then, obviously, the screw job with Finn putting Gunther's leg on the bottom rope. And even just the way Damian watched the screen and saw what happened, because usually they don't know. But, it just, everything about it was great. The stare down between Finn afterwards and Damian was great. I loved everything about it. And I'm very happy that Gunther is your champion.
Yes, very
He's gonna be a
deserving.
fighting champion. Excited for that.
And the loss did not hurt. Like, this is one of those matches that nobody comes out a loser.
No.
His Damien's pop on Monday was awesome. Like, he is arguably one of the top baby faces right now in WWE Raw. And that's awesome for him.
Yeah, and,
So,
he gets directly dumped into a major storyline. So
correct.
nothing.
They already changed him into babyface on the WWE roster page, too.
Him and
Oh,
the
wow.
tribal chief. Him and the chief are both are there.
Oh, they actually do that on the website?
The OTC, baby. Oh, yeah, if you go to the roster page.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
By the way, did you realize we'll go back to Gunther, but 24 hours, I think 12 hours or 14 hours later, they launched a new tribal chief belt.
Yes.
Sold out.
It sold out.
Like 1,300 of them, or 2,300, whatever the amount was. They
sold out in
14
2 hours. Oh, I heard 2 hours.
Oh, it was 2 hours? Okay,
I heard
so I
2
heard
hours.
12. It was 2 that I heard, not 12. So then 2 hours, and also all his OTC shirts also sold out.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting that shirt. 100%.
Well, you got to wait for the next batch, buddy.
That's all right. I'm patient, man. Well, then that brings
I'm a
us...
patient man.
Well, that brings us to Cody and Solo, and more importantly... I'm not going to play the whole thing again, but what a great match. Solo was great. Solo did a great job, and then I loved all the bloodline commotion. And then you get Jacob Fatu. So Jacob comes in like a bulldozer that he is. And then gets Cody on the table, does the splash, the way the table breaks. When I first watched it, I said, let it be a work, let it be a work, let it be a work. And then he gets up and he falls right down. And I'm still saying, okay, could be a work, could be a work. And then he starts punching the guardrail. And that's when I said, I'm not so sure it's a work now. Like, now he's like legitimately pissed off. So... we'll get more into that in a second. I think, and I don't know for sure, but I think after Jacob came out and did his spot, that somebody else was supposed to come out to fend off Jacob to then have the tribal chief come out. And I think things were altered because it was an injury and he wasn't getting up anyway. Maybe Jay or Jimmy, something. I don't know. I just have a hunch. But let's say they pivoted And then we still got Roman, which was the most important thing anyway. And what a reaction for, I mean, everything we expected it to be. The new music, the way that he still slow walked 50 fucking yards down to the ring and soaked it all in.
The roar of the crowd.
Oh, the crowd was insane. And then the Superman punch to Solo, and then the woo-ah in unison with 70,000 fucking people, whatever it was. And then the spear, and then the stare-down look between Roman and Cody, and almost like a mutual nod, which was kind of cool. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I hope Jacob's not seriously injured. I've heard everything from he's in a walking boot, so it's not so severe, and it's 2 to 3 weeks. And then I've also heard it could be 3 to 6 months. If it's 3 to 6 months, he's out of War Games, and that sucks.
I actually saw him in a walking boot, a picture of him.
Yeah, at a bodega.
At a bodega, getting whatchamacallit.
But if it's the walking boot, then that means it's not as severe, and we may have a shot that he's only out a couple weeks, and it doesn't mean that he still can't be out.
Cast or something.
And it still doesn't mean he can't come out on TV. Because even AJ Styles had a walking boot. He was coming on TV for a while. So I'm hoping it's not as severe as it could have been. Dave Abbey over at YouTube, with Roman back, I give it a month before we start hearing Cody suck chants. Listen, they better keep Cody and Roman away from each other. Because that is what's going to happen.
Roman's going to Raw. Roman's going to Raw.
Well, right. They're moving him to Raw. So
he's going to finally I mean, Gunther could do a good job at it, but when Roman gets that title, that's when that title's finally going to be a title.
Well, I mean, don't take credit away from Gunther. Gunther's going to elevate the fuck out of it.
Gunther might definitely do that.
Gunther's going to definitely elevate it. So, but, I mean, it was just great. I love Bloodline rules because you know shit's going to go down. I was very happy with it. And just everything with Roman, it's great to see him back. It really is. And I just hope that, they're already announcing he's going to be on SmackDown this week. I better have my wise man bring him out. I need the wise man back. I need to see the two of them embrace. And then I want to see where Roman is going to, how he's going to get his family of the original bloodline to come back to him, including our honorary use, Sami Zayn.
Yes, sir. Is SmackDown on Sci-Fi this week?
I believe so.
Oh, I got to make sure
But I don't know that for sure. But you may want to double check. But either way, I'm very. It's the amount of layers is just so fucking great. It really is.
I'm still waiting on the moment when he opens his mouth and says, "Acknowledge me," and this time it's a face, acknowledgement.
Oh yeah, for sure. Dave Abbey, I was just gonna say, only thing missing was Heyman. Yeah, I mean, I feel that way too, but it was in the middle of a match. I mean, they could have done it. But, listen, if we have to wait till this week, I just hope he's there this week because I miss our wise man. And I'm very excited to see where this is going to go. And it's just great. It's the gift that keeps on giving, this Bloodline story. I mean, it's just great. I love everything about it. So, great return. SummerSlam overall was a complete home run. Oh, and let's not forget about the choke slam from Jelly Roll that looked amazing as hell.
One-handed, too.
One-handed. And I got to tell you, I know that Jelly Roll is a diehard wrestling fan like we are. And I know that he was living his dream and having the time of his life. God bless him. I'm a fan of Jelly Roll. I'm not a country guy. I'm a fan of Jelly Roll. And I've been saying that way before he showed up in WWE. He just
and that 15 knuckle shuffle.
Oh, that was great. I just felt bad because they had to help Jelly Roll up. He couldn't get up there.
Big props to Austin Theory, man, because he made him look like $1 million.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The way he got up on that one-handed chokeslam, they got some air on that one.
Oh, my God. He got so high. It was great.
Got so high. That was awesome.
So, moving on to Monday Night Raw. And boy, did a lot of things go down on Raw. So we have the new Judgment Day now. We have Damian and Rhea together now. We have Bronson Reed giving internal bleeding to Seth Rollins with 5 fucking tsunamis. 6 tsunamis. And then the best part of Monday Night Raw, and for anybody that had doubts and thought that this was going to really shit the bed, I say fuck you to every single one of you, because that main event with the Wyatt Six was everything I could have hoped for and more. The entrance with the fucking chair, Bray's final music, the way that they lined up in the entryway together, how Howdy sat in the chair with or Sister Abigail in front of him, and they looked great in the ring. I love Dexter Lumis. I love the other one. I don't know anything about Gracie or whatever fuck his name is.
Gacy.
I was impressed with him.
That move he did when he stood upside down
in the corner.
Rope, that was so great.
Dude,
creepy.
I got such Bray feels.
So
I'm not a spiritual person. I don't believe in a lot of that shit. I'm just not that guy. But I'll tell you what, I felt Bray Wyatt last night.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps. From the beginning to the end where they posed in the ring and they raised their hands up. One of them did the yeah. I just everything about it. And they looked great. The only critique, the only thing that I will say that I'm not sure I'm a fan of. You just put this team together with the Creed brothers, and they're already losing. Now, Wyatt Six can't lose. So it's the fact that they were put in this situation, and it had to be what it, But to have this new team come together and then lose their first match out, that would be my only thing. But obviously, Wyatt Six can't lose.
Yeah, but are they really losing with Chad Gable on their side as a new faction? And the fact that it was Wyatt Six, which everybody that gets in front of them is going to lose, I don't think that really hurts them.
Oh, I don't think it hurts them. I don't think it hurts.
I'll tell you what, I thought they worked amazing together and they looked great as a team. They all looked, similar outfits and stuff like that. It's awesome. I love stuff like that.
American.
Yeah, American made. I do hate the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have gone so many other American stuff than American made.
It's like Hogan's WCW theme.
Yeah, it's not.
It just sounds like a bad HGTV show.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's on Hallmark.
That's actually very true. But overall, Raw was great. But to me, that was everything. I just hope it continues. To go this way. But they really did. They worked well together. I can't.
There was a lot of in-ring chemistry.
Yeah. Well, this has been brewing for so long. They've probably been working out together in the Performance Center to get ready. So, even though it's the first time on TV, it's not the first time that they've been working out together. So, but yeah. Oh, and then, wait. We got to talk about something else too. This big motherfucker that showed up for the New Day. What's his name?
Yeah.
Odyssey Jones.
Who is he? I have no idea who he is, but he was impressive as hell last night. He picked up the AOP one arm each like it was nothing, and those are big boys.
I don't know who he
600 pounds.
is. I don't know who he is, but I damn sure know he's the beginning of the end of the New Day.
Well, yeah, the way Xavier reacted in the back, he didn't seem very happy about it. So which that upsets me because I felt like New Day was going to be that one team that just never breaks up. You know, like even if they went their separate ways, they were not going to like turn on each other.
Yeah,
But
you know what though? They'll return them back. They'll do what they did with DX. They probably have a great rivalry, have some great matches, and eventually they'll come back to one another.
Tara says he was called up from NXT, so that guy's impressive, man. Dave Abbey over at YouTube. I thought he was a CPU generated character in 20. That's a big boy, and he can move. He was moving around that ring. I give him credit, man. He's impressive. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go. And I would also be horrible if I didn't point out that Ludwig Kaiser came back to introduce Gunther, the Ring General, as the champion.
Best intro in the game.
Second best. Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But I hope he does it every week now. I don't care if he doesn't do anything else. Just do the intro.
Yeah.
I'm good.
He's actually a good wrestler. I actually enjoy his wrestling.
He is good. He is good. His mannerisms are good. His in-ring technique is good. He's another guy that you don't sleep on Ludwig. He's very good. But he does a hell of an intro for Gunther. Anything else from Raw that we really want to cover?
Well, speaking of Gunther, the confrontation with...
Oh, Sir Randall?
Yeah.
That's going to be a great match. And it was a great promo from both ends. That's going to be a good one. It just, the one thing that sucks is that Randy Orton's not winning. You know what I mean?
He has bigger fishes to fry, brother. Believe me when I tell you.
No, I know, but,
But it doesn't hurt Randy. It's Randy. He's probably going to lose by Kaiser or probably somebody from the bloodline.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well, one thing that I always appreciated and liked about Gunther is as a top heel, his title matches, he always came out alone, and he never had them come out and interfere. Every title match. In
the beginning, but look at his last couple of IC runs and look at how he won his championship. They haven't been clean, brother. I'm telling you. If you look closely, his last few matches have not been clean. They're making him more and more of a straight heel. And again, it doesn't have to be, it has to be look with Kaiser that comes and do it. Like, think about it. Like, Orton has layers too. Like, he's currently beefing right now, helping his boy out, Cody Rhodes of the Bloodline. They're not going to forget that. And if he has a big spot of a championship match, they're not going to forget that. They're going to attack.
Yeah, but that bloodline back in. But that bloodline also has bigger fish to fry right now with the original bloodline. Randy Orton ain't joining Roman's bloodline. That would just be stupid.
There's a way that he is tag teaming with Cody to do something. Him and Cody are going to become a team. That's Cody's next big story. Because if you take Cody out of the bloodline, what's the next big story for Cody? One that just makes sense. That has layers.
Putting him in a tag team with Randy to me doesn't make sense, especially when he's champion.
Maybe but maybe it's a one-off tag team and
Randy as a one-off maybe. I can see that.
One-off. No, not like tag team champions or something. No, like a one-off. But they're gonna have something together. They're gonna lose, and Orton's gonna turn on him in the ring, and he's gonna become the Viper again, or the Legend Killer, since now Cody's the Legend, whatever the fuck you want to put him as, and then he's gonna go at him. And you have reasonings. That's his understudy. He's gonna say he's the cerebral assassin.
That was Triple H,
right? That's Triple H. But Orton has a way, and I want to see that. I think that's gonna be a great match now with this Cody Rhodes, the American Dream, and Randy Orton. That'll be a great fucking rivalry.
I don't know if I'm ready. It's funny because Randy's one of those guys that no matter what, heel or face, he's always great. I love loving
him. It's been a while as a heel, though. I need to see him as a heel again.
I'm loving him as face, though. I am. I'm loving it to the point that I don't know that I'm ready to see him turn heel yet.
Yeah, but
Not that what
is
I care
Randy
means
Orton
anything, but
becoming a champion as a face or a heel? Is a heel.
based on who has the belts, yeah, it's going to be a
Based
heel.
on the best storylines you could give him, is a heel. You got Cody, you got Cena. Shit, if you need to put him against the tribal chief one more time, you got the tribal chief as a face and him as a heel. You know? Those are the top guys per se. The only one is Gunther. He's already going to face him probably as a well. He's facing him as a face, obviously. But outside of that, like who do you really put Randy Orton against?
It's true.
You could put matches with him. You got Kevin Owens as a match if he becomes a heel. The Yeet Master is a match if he becomes a heel. Um, Damian Priest is a match if he becomes a heel. So now you got all these new matches you could give him for the next few years.
Dave Abbey over at YouTube. Great question. What's up with Butch? Does anyone know like the real reason why he's so hard on for Sheamus?
I have honestly, I didn't even know that was a storyline, bro.
Yeah, you haven't been watching Sheamus matches?
I've
The
been
last like 2 or 3 matches, Butch has come and like attacked Sheamus.
well, yeah, I did see something like that, but I didn't know it was building on that. But
I
that's
think
an
it's something
interesting
to do
question.
with he blames Sheamus for the destruction of the stable they had.
All the brawling brutes.
Yeah,
That
something
would
like
make
that.
sense.
I mean, I don't really care, but he smacked him with a shillelagh.
So,
Tribute to Finley, I love it. Honestly, I could see Pete Dunne at this point joining Imperium now.
I really think the dragon Dragunov is going to be the next
Oh,
Imperium guy. I think he
He
makes the
should
most
be.
sense.
He makes
that
the
would be
most sense.
cool.
Yeah, he will give them like a legit top 3
And then
or a
him and
top two and a
Ludwig
half.
him and Ludwig as tag team
He said it a
champions.
few years ago.
Yeah, that would be a sick team too. We'll have to see. The nice thing is every story has so many layers right now. We keep saying it, but it's the truth. So there's so many different directions most of these storylines can go. So it's keeping it interesting. We're going to see
And
where it
what
all goes.
another thing that Triple H is doing, is kind of making sure that everybody has a place. You know, most
Well,
you know
I think he's great at making sure that giving us stories and remembering you don't need to have a title to have a good story. Like I think he
Yeah,
does a great
I
job
mean
at doing that.
that was one of the best things about the Attitude Era is that even the low card guys had stuff to do that made the fans want to see it, and everybody had merch. Everybody.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's an awesome thing. Like CM Punk was the other day, he said something about like if wrestling was like this 10 years ago, I would have never left. And like it shows you what Triple H could do with talent because it's like Steve said, right? He didn't believe CM Punk was going to lose his first match back, but guess what? He said he's a changed man, he's a company man, and he proved that to you by taking this first L.
Yep.
You know, so that's I think that's pretty awesome in its own right. And think about this, man. We didn't even talk about Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, or Seth Rollins for a title. This is how deep this division is.
Yeah.
You know, those are 3 legit great stars that we didn't even talk about a title yet.
That's yeah. I mean, like, and that's my only gripe sometimes with the women's division is that they only have title centric feuds. They need like that's why when Charlotte comes back, she doesn't even need a title. She's the attraction. Her versus Jade or something like that, or her versus Tiffany Stratton, her versus Nia Jax. I mean, no, I know Nia's champion now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well.
her name sells.
Yeah, but she's also, when she comes back, rest assured, it won't be very long before she has that title back.
I think her and Stratton might be lined up for a Rape Mania.
I could see that being lined up.
Battle of the Blondies.
As long as Charlotte turns heel, because I think Tiffy will be a face by WrestleMania. Because if she does officially cash in on Nia, she's instant
The
babyface.
fans are gonna go crazy.
They already go crazy for her. That's the other thing,
Yeah.
too. The fans already treat her like a face.
I also like that they're finally kind of moving away from the Barbie like thing that she was doing. It's a little more serious, and I liken her to someone like Trish because she's improved, got really good really fast, like Trish did.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's fantastic. She's great on the mic. She's great in the ring. She looks great. I mean, she's great. There's nothing negative you could say about Tiffany Stratton right now. Well, that's bringing us right to the top of the hour, boys. Is there anything you guys wanted to cover or talk about before we take it home?
I I don't know what's going on with the EST and Jade, but I would like to see something starting to brew for this breakup because I'm tired of them being buddy buddies.
I don't want to see that yet. I don't think Jade's ready for a singles match with Bianca yet.
I think Bianca's being held back by it, though.
Exactly.
She's
She
too
is.
good
That's
for
my
this. She's
that's my
too
main
good.
point.
She
We're
is
wasting
being held
her.
back. No, that's true, but she's helping get Jade ready. And there's been tons of improvement with Jade, but it needs a little more time. But I think a breakup is coming sooner than later because if they keep losing, it's going to cause animosity. So we'll have to see. But it is definitely holding Bianca back. There's no doubt about it. But it's being done for a reason.
Yeah, and she'll rise up again.
And Dave Abbey's right. That's a Mania match.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I could see, you know when I could see the animosity? Royal Rumble. Jade throws Bianca over. And there's your Mania match.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. Right.
But you think no? I think there has to be a turn in order for one of them to take the heel. You know, for
Well,
one of them could be the heel.
but
I
let's
mean,
say
I
let's say Jade throws Bianca out. She becomes an instant heel.
does she?
I think so.
Nah, but that this if they're brewing this, bro, we need a I'm gonna beat your ass in the ring kind of thing after we lose a match. This is the energy I need for this rivalry. I don't want them to not be friends over a top rope elimination. I need one of them to fuck each other up. I need
Well,
to
it's
feel this.
you screwed my opportunity of a championship match.
Yeah, screwing is not the same as beating the hell out of you in the ring because I'm sick and tired of losing with you.
Well,
And you're holding me back.
but that's what's setting up the beating at WrestleMania.
Hmm.
And that will be a beating. It'll be great. I wouldn't be upset if we had a triple threat and it was Bianca, Jade, and Charlotte. Make it a fatal four-way, throw Tiffany in there. I don't give a shit. That would be a great match. I mean, those are, and the more people that are in there, the less you have to rely on Jade, too, just in case.
Very true.
So,
Right, that's why that 6-woman tag was a good at Mania was a good place for her to be in.
correct. Absolutely.
Oh, there's the Shane McMahon Tony Khan picture.
Yes, which was taken by Mercedes Moné.
Oh, okay.
And neither one is confirming anything other than that there was a meeting. But I have a strong feeling Shane McMahon is showing up in AEW, and it could be at Wembley.
That'll be something.
Could you imagine?
Holy shit.
A McMahon on the fucking AEW television?
I'm sure Vince laughs at it at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vince McMahon isn't involved. Although, but then I would also have to say, how does that make Tony Khan look, especially with everything that's going on with Vince? Maybe I take that back. Vince is probably staying at it.
I almost thought that maybe perhaps Shane would be like a liaison between the two companies.
That would be awesome.
Well, I don't know that Shane's in such great relationship with WWE, because what I'm hearing is that the meeting with Tony Khan didn't happen until after Shane expressed interest in coming back to WWE and was told no. So
interesting.
I am sure that is going to continue to develop, and you can tune in here every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. for the War Report After Dark, and we will fill you in on all the latest rumors and things that are going on in the world of pro wrestling. I want to thank everybody for checking us out and tuning in. Again, every Tuesday, 9 p.m. We are on all social media platforms, and anywhere that you can hear a podcast, we're on it. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Twitch, Twitter, I mean, you name it. Multiple Facebook pages. We're not hard to find. But check us out. If you enjoy the show, tell your friends. We're growing more and more every week, and we appreciate it. And we appreciate all the people that chime in and add more to the conversation. Dave Abbey and Tyra this week. Our good friend over at YouTube, David Roska, is probably busy watching the Olympics, so I'm sure he'll be back next week. And
our boy Samad.
Yes, T. Roach, thanks for checking us out. We appreciate you. And other than that, thank you guys all again, and we will see you next week right here on The War Report.